on to those thoughts, we're going to start again. We're going to do a weight loss session because something interesting's happened, which is interesting on a good side. And this is very, very important. And I'll try and steer the conversation to suit this again because this is an important point I want to bring up for tonight in regards to contrast and things like that. So let's start again. I am now let's stick with the basics. Let's do weight loss now, okay? I have come to your office, but this time it's going to be a little bit hard to role play across this over this Skype call. But let's just say I'm sitting there. You can see I'm rather emotional at even the thought of weight loss. Okay, you've maybe just asked me, so you're here to do weight loss, and you can see that I'm getting really emotional, maybe starting to cry. So I want you to pick the session up from this point. I don't think we've covered anything like this before, and let's just see where we go from now.
Right. So you're quite emotional, right? Are you male or female, by the way?
Let's do male. Sticks with my genre a little bit better.
Okay, then Scott. Well, Scott, I can see that you're getting a little bit. You seem a little bit nervy, and to be honest with you,
yeah,
I see a lot of people that are quite nervous about many problems that they have. But I just want to reiterate to you that you don't have to get nervous, or you don't have to have a problem. Because all you have to do is everything's going to be safe, and all you have to do is you're going to be relaxed, and you're going to sit where you are, and you're going to listen to the sound of my voice. That is the tenet of what you've got to do. A lot of what you're going through now is you're going to look back in years to come or in months to come and go, I just have no idea what I was thinking then.
Sure.
So don't worry about sort of that side of it at all. Because, as I say, hypnotherapy is one of those things that deals with problems on a very gentle, calm level, and that's how we will approach this today. So it's not a problem. So, what is the problem that you've got today?
I've been trying to lose weight for the last 10 years. I've been to personal trainers. I've been to a nutritionist, and this is just the last straw. It just has to come off, and I'm so frustrated that it's taking so long to come off.
Okay. Interesting you should say that, because I've seen a lot of people that have struggled with weight, and the thing that I've always found out is that what you've just told me now is a very common thing.
Okay.
So don't think that although you're a very unique individual, you're not unique with your problem. Your problem is pretty much the same as everywhere. So how does it make you frustrated?
I just know it's going to be so hard to lose.
How do you know that?
Because I've tried everything, and I've been trying to go to the gym for the last 10 years. I've done every diet, every training program. I've got all the advice, and nothing seems to work.
So you've tried everything?
Yeah, just 10 years, I've just done everything I can think of, and just nothing works. This is the last straw.
Right, okay. I'm glad you came to me. You could have come to me pretty much 8 years ago, or 9 years ago, or possibly 10 years ago, and it would have been fine. But don't worry about it, because the thing that I'm quite curious about is what makes you think you have a problem with your weight?
Well, I'm overweight. I can't fit in my clothes. I feel embarrassed all the time. I don't want to go outside. It overtakes my life, and it's just so frustrating.
Okay, so it overtakes your life, and it's just... So what would you... So if you get to your desired weight, how will that improve your well-being?
Everything will. My social life, I'll have more confidence. I won't have to feel embarrassed. I'll fit into better clothes. Everything will just get better.
Okay, so is it more of an image issue than anything else?
Yeah, I definitely want to look like looking good, and looking confident is top priority to losing this weight.
Okay, so how would you know that you're feeling confident?
I know I just feel it. I'll be able to talk to people without getting embarrassed. I'd be able to be more social. I'd probably have more friends. Everything would just be good.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are you embarrassed now?
Not in here, no, but I know as soon as I go outside, I feel like everyone's just watching me.
Well, in what way?
I know that people are probably judging me because I'm really overweight and I'm not attractive and I just want to fit in like everybody else.
Okay, so...
And let me pause right there. Good job. Brilliant job so far. I like that little part at the start that you did. Okay. And the reason I like that, and I think it's important, is because, and for people listening at home as well, your clients come in and has what we could look at as the weight of the world on their shoulders. Okay. And again, we're just role playing this where we're trying to create the scene from this. So the last thing we want to be doing as a therapist is acting like their problem is big. Does that make sense? Your nonchalant attitude, like, it's good. You're here. We can do this. It's easy. It's simple. You haven't guaranteed me anything, but what you have guaranteed is a place, as in your office, that might suits the criteria that I'm after. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The last thing we want to be doing as a therapist, especially if our client's sitting there and they're overly emotional, we'll get to how we attack that and play with that, is to sit there and, say something like, yeah, I know, weight loss is hard. It is. I understand how you feel, but look, I'm here for you. That different type of attitude and that tonal voice, almost like a mother talking to a child. That's what I want to avoid. What I want to have is still a caring attitude, but act as if I'm so confident that my client can basically live off the confidence that I have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful to start. Okay. And it's more casual because we've got to remember as well, this person already we've heard, and you're going to see this with your clients, if they're embarrassed actually coming to your office, okay, them being embarrassed outside is not as much as what it is in here because now they're talking to a total stranger about their life's issues. So that's going to be hard enough by itself.
Yes.
So what we want to have in our head as our attitude is like, wow, you've made it. Yeah, you might be still overweight. You might be still feeling a little bit shitty, but this is a big step. So you better thank yourself for that. And that could be enough, just even highlighting this with your client could be enough to start to switch those emotions to suit another path. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that all happens in you as a therapist. All of that happens by the way you come across. Now, there's a double edge to that. We can't go over the top and think, what an idiot, I'll solve this for you. I can do anything. Overweight, I eat overweight people for breakfast, that sort of attitude. I don't want to be overconfident. I don't want to be arrogant, but I want to be caring, but also not get sucked into the issue as well. Okay, and you did that very, very nicely. So it's a great start to the session. Okay, so let's break down. What do we know so far? What have you picked up from this client without analyzing where we go with it? What do we know about this client, point blank?
He's overweight.
Yep.
He's got confidence issues.
Big time.
He thinks that the root cause of his problem is his weight, and it's probably not.
Yes, I would agree with that.
That's what I'm getting at. I haven't really got to the root cause of it, but I'm guessing. If I had to guess anywhere, I would say it's confidence issues that he's more got, because if you've got confidence, it doesn't really matter what weight you are.
Exactly. So that's a good point. Okay, so there's going to be some sort of confidence issue. It's going to be tied in with some sort of image. It's going to be tied in with some weight loss as well. What else was occurring? And I purposely made this client only because I can recall clients, like especially with weight loss, it tends to be a very common phenomena that happens. What was his attitude towards his weight issues?
Oh, it was just so difficult. It was just so hard to do, and it's just
yes.
It's almost like it was almost as if I'm not going to try because it is too hard, and I know I'm going to fail.
Yep. So there's already some. You can already hear the two minds working opposing each other. Okay. Yes. What else was wrong with his? Well, not wrong. What else was up with his attitude towards weight loss? He thinks it's going to be hard. He's put a lot of emotion. He's basically said, "You're my last hope."
Yeah.
Where else is his attention focused? And the reason I bring this up, because where his attention was and the way his attitude was will immediately impact you as a hypnotist. Okay, so what was up? What else was wrong with his attitude?
His focal attention was more about what other people would think of him instead of what he would think of himself.
Yep, absolutely. So there's going to be some self-image and also self-worth issues. And these are all just assumptions. That's all they are. And we can assume them. We know this. We can assume them to ourselves because it could lead us into a little aha moment for a question for ourselves. Okay, but we don't. Obviously, we're not voicing these opinions to our client. What else was askew with his attitude?
His attitude was trying to think. I felt it was almost as if he thought it was a problem. He wanted to get rid of it, although there was a little bit of emotion there. It was almost as if he didn't really put it. It was just I've got a weight issue, not anything that to me brought it home, lock, stock, and like this is it. I've got to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be.
No. There's a point. The fact that you're picking up little things is important. That's the whole purpose of this exercise tonight.
That's right. I was trying to figure it out.
We're not trying to. We're avoiding getting sucked into the story.
Exactly. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So the main thrust of just that little intervention right there, and the purpose of me doing it like that, which I think you'll pick up once I reveal it too. Did you see how much our client was putting pressure on themselves? Like, this is it. I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
Now, if your client is expressing pressure through verbalization, through the way they're expressing their problem, what do you think you as the hypnotist will do that could ultimately destroy the great session you're about to do?
To destroy it?
Yes.
Would be add more pressure, add more fire to the fuel.
Yes, add more pressure to him or add more pressure to you. Which one do you think would be worse?
He would, if I added more fuel to him.
Yep.
Because he would then start to implode.
So if he got more pressure on him, what would you do to react as the hypnotist that would destroy the session? Where do you think the pressure would turn itself onto?
Turn onto me.
Yes, because now you need to put pressure on to perform to get it right. Why? Because you have this overly sensitive person sitting in front of you, an overly emotional person. We automatically, and that's the key word, automatically go into, this has to work. I want to help this person. I feel for this person. This has to get done today. Now, what is the downside to that attitude for us as the hypnotist? What happens at that point that totally puts us in the wrong place to be a great therapist?
We then do, well, instead of then trying to care about the client and all of that thing, we start to care about ourselves.
Yes, keep going. You're on the right track. And when we're caring about ourselves,
well,
which direction are we trying to take the session to?
We try to take the session to, aren't I good? And I don't want to take the session there. I want to take the session to, he's finished.
Yes, you want to try and solve the issue.
Yeah.
Why? Because you get sucked into his pressure. Do you see how that could happen?
Yes.
That is so crucial. Now, even for myself, seeing the amount of clients that I've seen, I still got sucked into it. We have an inner nature, from especially being a therapist. Now, to be a good therapist, you've got to care about other people. If you hate people, don't be a therapist. If you hate listening to people's excuses, don't be a therapist. Okay? So for the few therapists out there that really care for people and really want to do something great with people, it is so easy for us to get sucked in because we fall into that trap of, I want to help you. And it's almost you get that attitude like, I don't even care if you pay me. I just want to help you because I want to feel good about this and I want you to feel good about it. And we start to perform. When we start to perform, I now take the attention off. Let's say you are my client. I would take the attention away from, okay, what does Simon need from me compared to what can I do for Simon?
Yeah.
If I'm into what can I do for Simon, I'm in the worst place I could be. Why? Because I'll fail every time.
Yeah.
Because now I'm getting sucked into the weight loss issue. I'm getting sucked into this excuse. I'm getting sucked into the unconscious pressure. If I get sucked into that, you may as well restart the whole session again or book it in for another day because something needs to be cleared. If you could take that nonchalant attitude you had at the start through the whole session, that attitude alone would probably clear up 75% of his stuff without you even having to say a word. And that's huge.
Yeah.
As a therapist. Okay. Does that make it more clear, having listened to that? And obviously you'll be able to listen back to this as well.
Yes.
And it's the same for for, let's say, an anxiety sufferer, what types of things would let you know that an anxiety sufferer is putting a lot of pressure on, like, this is it, I have to do this today? What sorts of language would they use? What sorts of things would you hear?
It would be the language would be very speedy, I would think, and
Yes.
it would be, I've got to get this done, and it would be very sort of very tense.
Yes.
And they tense up quite a lot, and it would be, again, sort of, you're my last hope and all of that sort of thing, but it would be very, very sort of stilted and very, we've got to get this done, and why aren't we doing it? And
now we're thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
And when you start to hear things like, we have to get this done today, or this is my last hope, okay, sometimes your clients will say it to you like a joke, which is fine. Okay, that's a better way to have it. But if they're so adamant, almost like to the point, and this is a crude example, to have this as a phenomena. If your clients are going to go, if it doesn't happen today, it's almost the point where I want to kill myself if this doesn't work. This is a lot of pressure for you as a hypnotist, as a therapist. So your attitude dictates the context of the session. Your attitude dictates the environment, and your attitude will dictate the end result. Okay, so let's and that's a good way. That attitude you had at the start, that's what I want you to express through all the sessions you have. Okay, what is the only good thing about a client saying, I have to get this done today? This attitude like that. If it doesn't happen now, fingers up to everyone, I'm going to end my life, sort of thing. What's the only good thing about your client putting so much pressure on themselves?
They are more than likely susceptible to the suggestions that you're going to tell them, because they know they've got to get it done. So you can go into a really deep sleep or go into a really deep whatever trance, and then they'll go, yeah, because don't worry, if we set this up correctly, the way forward is just going to be so easy and so tranquil and so relaxed. You're just going to love it. So just close your eyes and go into a trance, and then they'll go, yeah, he's now, once they've got rapport and once they know that you're on their side and you're going to help them, if it is you're the bastion of last hope, you can get in.
Excellent. So what would we say what would we say this pressure is made of?
The pressure is, it's a conscious pressure. So it's not, if anything, it's a false pressure.
What's going to fuel this pressure? Think about basics. Starts with an E.
Oh, I love when you start these. You've forgotten how good 30-minute pauses are.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not just E. Ericsson. X.
Yes. This is it's a good way to learn, right? If I just tell you, you'll forget it. We may as well have a game with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So what is this pressure fueled with? And it's something we as hypnotists can grab a hold of and direct it to other parts of someone's life, or other parts of a situation, or other parts of the same thing we're holding on to.
I was going to say it's going to be fueled by the ego.
Ego is one way to say it.
Yeah,
it's just a fancy name.
It started with an E. So
starts with an E. Almost has, those big. They almost look like an overly large lake. Sort of starts with an O, like an ocean, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And the main word starts with an E. Put those together, what do we get?
Oh, sir. What do you get? Eggs? No. Emotion.
Emotion. You're 100% correct. So this is a great thing for us as a hypnotist, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because now we have emotional leverage. The emotional leverage is, okay, Simon, this has to be done today. I need this done. The over expenditure of that is the pressure you put on yourself. So if you can avoid putting the pressure on yourself to perform, and you can dictate that emotion, your client's done half the work for you. They've got the leverage, they've got the emotion. Now you just have to direct their emotion to somewhere else. And this is done, with your suggestions, the techniques you have. And you're very much correct when we talked about they're very susceptible to my suggestions. If you break down someone that's susceptible to the suggestions, okay, the only thing someone needs to be susceptible, whether someone says I'm overly susceptible or I'm not susceptible, if you ever come across a client think, oh, they're not susceptible to hypnosis, it's rubbish. The only thing you haven't done properly is got their attention.
Yeah.
So if your client's looking at you point blank in the eye saying, Simon, this has to be done. I need to do this. You now have their attention. You have their emotion. Emotion bypasses critical thinking, right?
Yes.
So what's the third step of the ABSU formula? What does the S stand for? Stimulate the unconscious mind. Being that they're overly emotional, it's already doing it for you.
Yes.
And the U part is to utilize. So you need to utilize everything that's occurring, whether it be the pressure, whether it's this, whether it's that. So if we were going to utilize the very pressure, we stopped thinking about their words, we dropped their idea of playing with their language. How would you utilize the very phenomena of the pressure they're putting on themselves, realizing they don't know how much pressure they're putting on themselves? How would you utilize that in a fun sort of hypnotic way? And this is where you can get really cheeky and really sophisticated with hypnosis and do something without them realizing it. So how would you utilize the phenomena rather than, we've spent a lot of time utilizing the language, like echoing effect and things like that. How would you utilize the very phenomena you're seeing? This uptight, this has to happen now, a lot of body language, a lot of pointing to the ground, like this is it today. How would you utilize that to start to transform?
I would probably ask them, because obviously it looks like there's a lot of pressure. It looks like there's a lot of pressure there. So I wonder what would happen if you could concentrate that pressure in one place.
Excellent.
Like did you realize that pressure, all of that pressure can go in that hand?
Excellent. Okay, so you can now to start to draw their attention to other parts of their body. Okay. Exactly. I liked what you said just before the rest of it. Okay, when you're thinking out loud and say, I wonder what would happen if all that pressure was put on something important. Now they're thinking, what pressure? What are you talking about? I'm talking about weight loss. What the hell are you on about? Where is the pressure? Unconscious.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Because they're doing all this tight-fisted motion. They're not doing that consciously. That's happening unconscious as a result of the issue.
Yes.
So now you've basically, and this is where I laugh because this can get really, really sophisticated. We're basically saying to the unconscious mind, hey, take that pressure, put it somewhere else. And now you've said, well, I wonder what would happen if someone took all that pressure, not even saying what would happen if Simon, you took it all, because I don't want to refer to you. I want to do it out loud. What would happen if someone took all that pressure, all those times they thought to themselves things that really mattered to them, and put it somewhere where it actually helped? Put it somewhere important. Put it somewhere that actually gave you a new way of thinking. I mean, it'd be silly of me to suggest that pressure, and you can hear the metaphor that could come out now, makes diamonds, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you've done everything you need to do to have a shining outcome. Can you hear a little metaphor play with that? Okay. Now your client's going to be looking at you dumbfounded because you're talking about pressure. What is he talking about? Weight loss. Now he's thinking, what the hell is this person talking about pressure? But what do you think is going to start to happen unconscious? That pressure is going to be resolved. That pressure is going to start to be shifted. Now, the only way we're going to get that aha moment is to get rid of that pressure. Why? Because that's skewing his view. It's muddying the waters. Why? Because there's too much of it.
Yeah.
Do you see how that could come about?
I see exactly how. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, in regards to pressure or dealing with an overly emotional client, there are many ways to play with it. This is just one of them. And I think this is a more fun one, is to talk about the things it's to talk about the very phenomena that's outside of their awareness. What we would try and do as a hypnotist is say, well, if my client's uptight and full of pressure and anxiety, I'll take them to a calm place. I'll take them to a natural place. What are the chances they've tried that anyway?
Well, 100%.
Of course. I know when I get stressed out, what do I want to do? I want to go do something that doesn't stress me out. And I know that doesn't work. Because then I rethink all the things I should be doing instead of just hanging around trying to relax. And I get more frustrated.
Yeah. So I heard something. It was a CD I've got from the Ericksonian Institute. Mm-hmm. And they were just talking about general stuff. And they said the one thing you should never, if someone says that they're anxious, never ask them to relax. Mm-hmm. Because the one thing that they can't do is relax. So unless they actually say the word relax to you, you can't use it. So that's the same thing. What you're saying there.
I like the idea. I'm never fond of the idea of you can't do anything.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you say it's like, if you say take them to a calm place, they've been to a calm place.
Yeah, I'm with you now. Yes, yes. So I don't want to infer, because if if my client is stressed out and I say, oh, you should relax, now I'm telling them what to do and I'm dictating the session.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the whole purpose of it. So I agree 100% with that. Okay, so just to sum up that session, what are we taking away from pressure now? Okay, give me the goods and bads of pressure. Or when I say pressure, the client putting pressure on themselves.